Guys, please watch this video to the end. It's going to be one of the most important videos I've made. If you saw my video just a few weeks ago saying I was selling my altcoins, one of the best decisions that we've made. And I think if I hadn't have sold, I would have been down like 50-60% on my portfolio, maybe even more. So I think it was a really good sell. Now we're going to talk about lots of different things in this video, really important stuff, on-chain data. We're going to look at the charts, we're going to look at the SPX, we're going to look at TradFi. I think a lot of people are not looking at TradFi right now. They're looking at crypto, they're looking at what's going on at crypto, but they're not looking at TradFi, and TradFi is not in the same situation as crypto. And crypto tends to follow tech stocks. So if we can see what's going to happen in tech stocks, then we can front run what's going to happen in crypto, right? So this is one of a few different favorite indicators here. This is one of my favorite indicators on Nansen. So as you guys know, I have the Pro Nansen package. I know a lot of you can't afford it, but I'm going to talk about it on this channel. And this basically shows us whether we are in a bull market or a bear market. Okay, so when it's up like this, it shows that we're in a bull run. When it's down, it shows we're in a confirmed bear market. Bull market, bear market. Okay, so at the moment we are still in a bull run. But what do we notice about this chart? Look how long the line is starting to get up here now. Okay, look how short the line was back here as well. We've kind of extended over. So we're not technically in a bear market right now, but we are very, very deep into a bull run, which we imagine is going to flip into a bear market. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting to see when this actually flips to zero, because that's going to indicate the start of a bear market. So something for us to watch. One of my favorite indicators, as you know, this is the smart money balances. So this is all of the smartest people in crypto, the funds. Not necessarily have to be the smartest, but high P&L earners, right? People who consistently make profits. Some of the wallets I track in the Discord, have made tens of millions over the last 90 days. Very, very highly profitable investors. And this is billions and billions of dollars worth of currencies that are constantly moving from stables. Predominantly altcoins, so it's like Ethereum and altcoins. This isn't a Bitcoin chart, doesn't show you any Bitcoin. It's predominantly altcoins and Ethereum, which is what we're trading. And as it goes up, this is them selling. So this is them selling altcoins and going into stable coins. And as it goes down, that's historically when we go into a bear market, they start to accumulate, right? They start to buy back in. When the panic and the fear is there, they start to buy back in. Now, what do we notice about this chart? I've talked about it loads of times, so I won't go on about it too much, but double bottom here pretty much came down to 1% stable coins. So even the best in the space were pretty much over leveraged, had most of their money in altcoins, only had 1 to 2% left in stable coins sitting on the side, and kind of double bottomed. And over the last week or so, we saw a lot of selling. Okay, so we actually sold back here. The last time we sold was around March, April. So I said to the guys, this is dangerous territory, because the smartest people in the space are all over leveraged and they pretty much have all of their money in the market. Now, one thing we didn't see is a great deal of selling as we went into that 50-60% correction over the summer. It was a lot worse than people were expecting, and for good reason. I think the space has changed, the market's changed, which we're going to talk about on this video. I know it's dangerous to say this time's different, but there is a lot of data that is actually showing us that this time is different, and we can clearly see on the charts altcoins are not following Bitcoin. I've said it multiple times before. I said Bitcoin is outperforming stacks. Like, this is just not what happens or happened in the previous bull runs. Bitcoin would go up, altcoins would go up 200-300%, right? Bitcoin would go sideways, altcoins would chill or go up. Every time Bitcoin would climb up higher, altcoins would climb up higher, and money would trickle down into altcoins. We're seeing a completely different cycle so far. And the smart money have started to sell in the last few weeks. So this was only recently. If you think you've seen a crash in altcoins, guys, you haven't seen anything yet, because when this starts to push up to here, we're talking about tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars that are still yet to be sold from altcoins. And we can clearly see that there is some panic right now with these sudden bursts in sales. It doesn't happen overnight. If you look how slowly this kind of moved up to the upside, this was over many months that it climbed and climbed and climbed until we reached the top of the bull run. So I'm going to be keeping you guys updated with this. It's one of my favorite indicators, and we're going to see the reversal as well. If we do see a cool down in altcoins or crypto and we find some sort of floor, maybe we see a floor on the S&P, maybe we see a floor in stocks, then I would be looking at this. Okay, what are the smart money doing? What are the funds doing? What? Because these guys have serious amounts of money, right? Some of them have, like, one investor has over $500 million in Ondo. Just one investor has $500 million. So when these guys buy in, we see serious money coming into the market. And when they leave, we see serious money coming out of the market. And I think that's why we've seen such drastic sells over the last few days. Now, this is a lagging indicator, okay? So we're still looking at data from the 1st of February. So it's going to be interesting to see where this is tomorrow, but I expect it to continue to push to the upside. What other indicators do we have here that I can show you? Now, this is quite an interesting indicator, and this basically shows when it's historically been a good time to take some money off the table. Now, as you can see, we came into a bull run last cycle, and obviously we went massively over these green indicators. A lot of people actually took profits early last cycle, and it blew everyone away how high altcoins went. Mostly because of Elon Musk got into the space, and we had so much retail come off the back of that. There was just a massive retail FOMO last cycle. Ironically, we tapped this level again back in March. So when we took profits off the table in March and we sold some of our portfolio, this is where most altcoins were at their all-time highs. I think Render was at around 12.30 here. Casper was like at 20 cents or something. So this is where we took some profits off the table back in March, and we haven't really got back to this level. Now, if we look at the previous bull run, we had this bull run, and then we had this relief rally into a bear market. Now, is this the bull run? Have we seen the bull run in altcoins this cycle? Don't forget, this is not Bitcoin, this is altcoins, guys. Have we tapped this level? We came down, we've had a relief rally. This looks to me like it's trying to roll over to the downside back below these levels here. See below the pink line. I'm not saying this is going to play out. I'm just saying it looks very similar. It looks very similar. It looks like this was our altcoin bull run, and we're starting to see a lot of sell pressure. This is another indicator that I use for bull and bear, and you can see here when this bottoms out down here, it's historically a great time to buy, and you can see it slowly reversing. I think this is where we started to buy a lot of altcoins in the crypto space. Like Render was like 50 cents down here. Casper was less than half a cent. Like we were up 25x, 30x up on that at one point, and then we went into this bull run. I say it's the bull run, but again, we didn't come up and tap this level up here. We didn't quite tap the level we did previously. Again, does this come down to dilution? We had 3,000 altcoins last cycle. Now there's over 3 million altcoins. It's a completely different market. Anybody can launch an altcoin. Anybody can launch a Memecoin. We're seeing so many liquidity grabs. We've just seen Trump and Melania launch Memecoins that are also sucking liquidity out of the market. Things are very different, and it almost looks like we are starting to have this little relief here into some sort of cool down, right? So that's pretty much Nansen. So big up if you took the short positions, because I've absolutely we've absolutely killed it with the squad on some of these shorts. You can see here Melania, I'm currently 157% in profit. Sui, I'm only 6%. So Sui, I got in a little bit too early with the Sui short, and it had a bounce. I still think it was a short squeeze, but I'm still holding my Sui short open. So pretty much around break even on Sui. It might have come down more. I can see BTC's coming down. Ethereum, again, I also got into ETH a little bit too early, but currently sitting in profits. You know, I'm not going to cry. Solana doing really well, 172% profit. I think this is a lot more now. I think it's come down further. XRP 65%. My XRP short, I'm actually going to hold long term, because I think XRP is way overvalued. I think it's way overvalued. I think the market cap is massive, and I think this potentially could run into the bear market. So I'm prepared to hold this open into the bear market, just because it's a life-changing amount of money. If this was the top of XRP and I short the top, I went in with pretty decent size as well. This could be life-changing money for me. And hey, if it goes up and I'm wrong, I'm just going to hit my stop loss, right? I'm not going to lose any money. So it's a free bet for me, and I'm going to hold it open into the potential bear market if we see it. Trump, still shorting Trump, 120%. So, you know, we longed Trump, we took profits, we shorted it, made an absolute killing in January, and we're already making a killing now at the start of February. Jupiter, 74% short. Fartcoin shorted 530%. This was especially a key short because of the FUD that Pump Fund were getting. So the regulators are coming after Pump Fund, and it was a no-brainer, right? Pump Fund tokens were going to have a sell-off, especially Fartcoin. It was sitting at over $1 billion market cap. It was inevitable this was going to come down. I think it can still come down a lot from here, but we'll see. Peanut, 811% profit. This was just a degen short. I went 50x just because the market was tanking, and yeah, that came in. H-bar, 362%. This was one I done for fun for the community, and if this hits $10,000 profit, which I think it can, I'm actually going to give it away to my community. So if it hits $10,000, I'll ask them what they want to do. Should I keep it open? Should we go for 20,000? Should we go for 30,000? Or should we take profits at 10,000? So it's a bit of fun that we can have with the community as well. I'm going to do more of these as well. It's good fun. I like it, and you know, for me, I'm trading with small amounts, and you know, some of this might, if someone in the community gets $1,000 or $2,000, it might be a lot of money to them. So really cool little game we're going to be playing. Again, on-chain data, this has been my best friend this cycle. I wouldn't trade without it. I literally, if they took this tool away from me, I'd have to find another tool or I'd stop trading. I would not trade at all, because this has been an absolute game changer. You can literally see the smart money buying into assets and the funds and the serious money. You can see when they get in. We've been getting in with them, and then when we see them taking profits and dumping, we get out. And it's the same across the board, guys. If you go and look at all of the top projects like AI16Z, there is periods where the smart money have just decided to give up and get out of the project. The blue line typically tends to be the whales and insiders. Whales and insiders have just been DCAing out all the way into, they've been dollar cost averaging out all the way through all of the positive news about AI, including the news about where the CEO of Nvidia was saying that AI agents are going to be $1 trillion asset. The whales were still taking profits. The whales just kept selling, right? As retail kept flooding in off the back of this news, the whales just kept selling. And this is one of the reasons I cut my losses on AI16Z and virtuals. And I'm so happy I did, because I had a lot of money in those projects, and you know, I would have been down 50, 60, maybe. Even it's at 0.43 now. I would have been down 60-70%. That's absolutely disgusting. Again, look at the whales, guys. If we look at the P&L leaderboard, you can just see that the amounts of money that the whales and insiders have made is absolutely bonkers. And when the whales are giving up on their own project, so when they're giving up on their own project, how can I hold if the whales and insiders are dumping, right? How can I hold if they're all dumping? I mean, look at some of these gains. It's absolutely bonkers how many gains some of the insiders have made. And it's liquidity that's being sucked out of the market, right? I mean, this wallet has made $39 million, okay? Let's have a look at their wallet. They've made $39 million, and it was in the last 3 months. It was in 3 months' time. They've made 39 million. Look at their net worth. They've sucked it out of that wallet too. So this is liquidity that's being sucked from the retail, from the majority to a select few, and it's been sucked out of the market into cash. And I think this is why we've been seeing a lot of volume coming onto Ethereum. I think people are going into USDT, USDC. I think people are moving money to their to the Ethereum blockchain. Oh my God, we've just lost 99k. This is insane, guys. I think we're going down much lower. 28 million Vine Whale, 18 million Bad Aim token deployer. So, you know, someone else who launched another token. 18 million, has made $20 million in the last 90 days. You guys ask me why I follow the smart money. This is why I follow the smart money. These are the guys who are absolutely printing. And they're printing for a reason, right? They don't hold into hope. They're not hoping there's going to be an altcoin season. They're selling everything. One thing I notice about them is they're selling everything. They're not even holding moon bags in these projects. And the beautiful thing about tracking smart money is that we're going to see, if they do buy back into these projects, we're going to see the trend shift. We're going to see these lines start to invert and start to go to the upside. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because you usually don't get smart money selling everything if they expect a very fast reversal. So not looking good on chain. Same story with Trump. Look at this. The smart money just completely sold. I mean, this is one of the reasons I took profits and got out of Trump as well. I thought Trump could do well. You know, I was really bullish on Trump, but again, if the data changes, I change. People call me a flip-flop. People say, oh, 1 minute you're bullish, 1 minute you're bearish. Well, guys, if I see insiders dumping millions and millions of dollars from a token, of course I'm going to flip bullish. I'm not going to sit and hope for the best when I can see that the whales still have a lot to sell. One of the cool things we can do on Nansen is we can actually see how much is unrealized. This has been a great new feature that they've added. So I can see how much is unrealized, so I can see how much profit is left to take. So people are saying to me, oh, it's bottomed, it's bounced. When I'm looking at the top 10 holders with unrealized P&L, like, well, actually, the top 10 holders have still got $25 million to claim. That's completely free money because maybe they sniped it, maybe they got in at the bottom, right? So really, really cool features and tools that we can use. Same with WIF. Okay, I posted on X. You probably saw. I said I'm seeing some really, really bad red flags on chain. A lot of the smart money was selling all. Look at this wallet here. This WIF whale sold $5.3 million in the last 30 days. Was dollar cost averaging out. Sold $1 million today. Sold their last piece of their WIF. So they sold in completely the last bag of WIF today. $1 million. 670k, 607k just sold now. So we're seeing massive sells on chain still even today. Dow Jones pushing up to top resistance. Now, if you don't know what pattern this is a rising wedge pattern. Historically, rising wedges tend to break to the downside. I think the rate is around 60% likelihood of breaking to the downside. Regardless, even if we don't break to the downside, we are pushing up to resistance here, right? So previous resistance. Clearly, we are at another previous resistance, and also bounced off the SMC moving trend line, bounced off the SMC. Look how far away we are now from the SMC moving average, and it's also going to line up with the rising wedge. Okay, so these are classic reversal patterns that you often see in corrections, right? And you're seeing pullbacks. So look, is it going to roll out like this? Who knows? No one can predict the future. The monthly is completely overbought. So I keep seeing KOLs and trading experts talk about oversold. I think they're looking at the daily, right? I don't think they're zooming out and looking at the bigger picture here. If you actually look at the market, Bitcoin is near all-time high. Solana is near all-time high. Sui is near all-time high. A lot of altcoins are still near all-time high. Casper is not far from all-time high. Even in this crash, I'm still around 1,000% up on Casper. Okay, I'm still almost around 1,000% up on Solana. People aren't zooming out and realizing how much money and how many profits a lot of the insiders and the early whales and the smart money are because we bought in the bear market, right? A lot of people bought in 2022, 2023. This market could still collapse from where we are today. I mean completely collapse from where we are today, okay? Also, it's Sunday, guys. Wait for the stock market to open tomorrow. I don't think it's going to open well. S&P, we've talked about this. I mean, I must have talked about this on my last 20 videos. Bull market. Great buy signal down here from the SMC bot. If you want to get that, it's in the Discord. You can grab that from the Patreon. Great buy from the SMC bot on the weekly as well. Bull market went into this channel. Very similar pattern, right, to where we were. And then we went into this bear market cool down. Went into this pattern. Now, this technically could stretch longer. The only things I would say here is that we did get rejected from this multiple times. So I'm looking at the weekly chart. Pushed up, rejected, and then we got rejected again for the third time. And this was a really big rejection, guys. This was not a small rejection. Now, I've said this before. When we close below this level on the S&P, I'm going to sell the very small moon bag that I have left in crypto. And I'm going to start taking my big short positions, okay? So, yes, I am in shorts at the moment. Hey, some of them are pretty big. XRP is pretty big. My Ethereum short's pretty big. But if I do take a very, very big short position, I'm talking 50k, 100k, I want to be certain that we are losing the bull run trend line, okay? And when we lose this level, we're going to get a sell signal on the weekly for the first time since the start of this rally. And what happened the last time? Last time we lost this trend line, it was the start of the end, guys. And the sells came up a little bit later, but this trend line was the main thing, was the main line, and I think this is going to be very key level for us to hold. So yeah, it's not looking good. Let's hope the S&P can recover, and let's hope it can push to the upside again. I trade with the data. If the data is bearish, I'm bearish. If the data is bullish, I'm bullish. This is a massive red flag, right? So look at the SMC button here. Absolutely nailed it. I'm trading stocks now. As you guys know, I posted a few stocks that I bought. And the SMC bot is just, with stocks, it's even better than crypto, okay? It's even better on stocks than it is with crypto. It's more accurate. Why? Stocks move a lot slower than crypto. They're not so volatile, right? You tend to get into a bullish momentum out of the bear market. So, we had a sell here, pretty good sell signal as well, because it came down 50%, I think. Came down 50%, so great sell. And it came into this bullish momentum and then absolutely rallied, right? And stayed above this SMC trend line, which is your bull run support. So when you go into a bull run, this is your support line. See how we bounced off it? We came down, retested, we bounced and pushed right to the upside. Now, we're starting to close below. Now, I've been using this bot for quite a while. We're not at a sell yet. It will give us a sell, technically, when we close on the weekly below this. Why is this worrying? Because look how we are on this level. We haven't had a fast bounce off this. We actually sneaked below. Now, last time, we had a lovely bounce. This was off the Japan FUD, and we've rallied to the upside. This is what you want to see when you come down to this, and this shows strong buy pressure and strong confidence in the asset. When you close like this on the level, you can almost see here it wants to roll over, right? You can see it wants to roll over. The problem is this is going to open next week, and if it opens red, you might get this, okay? You might get this because we're opening below the red, and you're going to have to wait 7 days for a weekly close, and it could close down here, and then you're in dangerous territory because this was previous support, You don't know if you're going to bounce off this level. I would say that this is leaning very likely that we're going to get a sell signal from on the video, okay? Now, why is that such a big deal? We're a crypto channel. Why are we looking at the video? Well, if the stock market crashes, crypto's going to crash, right? Tech stocks, crypto follows tech stocks, especially Bitcoin. If the S&P falls, it's very likely Bitcoin's going to fall. It's kind of moved into a TradFi kind of asset with these institutions and pension funds accumulating, right? It's kind of moved out of that degen territory that it had. And this is going to be a big one to watch because there is so much money in the video. Now, don't forget, guys, everyone who purchased in the bear market is still up massively today, okay? So 100 and not far off a 10x, right? Like an 8 or 9x in gains. And now a lot of people, I might not sound like a lot of people would have put $1 million in here, $10 million, billions of dollars, and you know, those guys are up huge. So don't forget, even though we are in a downtrend right now, I know the markets are red and everybody's like, we must have bottomed. We technically haven't bottomed, anywhere near bottomed on a lot of things, okay, including a lot of top altcoins, including Bitcoin. It's still sitting around 100k. Like, that was a dream to us back when we were getting Bitcoin, right, in the bear market. 100k was a dream. And people are calling it bad right now, right? It could really go down a lot, guys. So we also are getting this kind of rollover on the video here. Look, we're getting this rollover. Okay, so you can clearly see momentum is starting to slow down. Now, what happens when you're in tons of profit and the market starts to look bearish? You're not going to sit around and hope for the best. You're not going to go, oh, I think we're going to bounce here. You're going to look at the data. You're going to look at the macro. What's going on in the news events, right? What's going on with the smart money, the insiders? What's going on chain? BTC, very, very difficult one to call right now. Again, I'm going to be looking at the SMC bot. So you see our SMC weekly has crawled around like this, and we've been riding this up. It's going to crawl up like this. This is going to be a key level for us to watch. I think we are going to come back to this level at some point. It's going to be a key level to watch. And notice last time we had this rally, we had this cool down, we had this pullback. This is where we took profits on a lot of our altcoins back in March. After we had this massive rally, and then we went into this summer cool down. A lot of alts got absolutely bad, right? A lot of them went down 50, 60, 70%. And then we came back to the SMC weekly, and then we bounced off this weekly. So are we going to see this pattern play out again? Are we going to have this climb up like this? Are we going to have a pullback to the SMC and then get a bounce to the upside on BTC? Altcoins are very, very different. So when I'm talking about Bitcoin, I don't want you to think that altcoins are going to get a massive rally here, because Bitcoin literally moved from 64k to 110k, and render still is below the all-time highs where we sold, right? We sold render around $12, and it never came back to those levels, even though Bitcoin had completely rallied to the upside, okay? So we're clearly seeing a breakaway from altcoins and Bitcoin. So it's really difficult to predict. I mean, look, I don't really use Fibonacci's, but I guess we could look at a Fibonacci from this level, depending on where you were to calculate it. Let's calculate it from the bottom of the wick to the top. Fibonacci levels do play out sometimes, and this would bring us into this green zone here. You see this green range between 79k and 72k, which lines up with a few different things, right? It lines up with our blue support line that we have down here. So we've got our previous trend line that we were on from the start of the bull run. This deviation here below was, I believe this is when USDC depegged, USDC. I believe this is when it depegged. Don't quote me on that, but this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to come off the chart like this. And then I believe USDC fixed themselves and we went into this parabolic rally. I still think that was some weird manipulation, but it is what it is. So we were held this blue trend line, okay? Let's say we would have stayed on this. We bounced off it here. So we've got multiple touch points. And then we came back to it here as well, which was another multiple touch point. So we know that this is quite a strong trend line here. And there's no reason, in my opinion, why we couldn't pull back to this blue trend line. Now, this would also be our previous, this would flip into support, right? Because this is our previous resistance. This is where we had all of those, where we ranged for so long. So we know this is going to be a very big level between 70K and 72K. Which lines up with our Fibonacci as well. The one thing it doesn't line up with is the SMC bot. If it crawls up like this, that would mean that we're going to cut through our SMC bot and get a sell on the weekly. Okay, so it's a very hard one to call BTC. That's why I'm not trading it. We also have a potential ETF. Sorry, not an ETF. Strategic reserve coming. So we don't know how that's going to go. We don't know when that's going to be implemented. We don't know how much they're going to buy. If they buy, if it gets approved, it might even get rejected, right? I like to have a strategy for either outcome. Have a strategy for the bear case. Have a strategy for the bull case. I'm not short in BTC because I think it's going to be extremely volatile. I think it's going to bounce up and down. I'm short in altcoins because I think they're going to trend to the downside for a good few weeks or months, okay? So that's it on BTC. That's also, look, there's another pattern here on Bitcoin. If we zoom in and look at the daily, actually we can probably do this on a weekly. You see how we've had this double top pattern. Okay, so first of all, we had a top here. We've got a top here. What happens a lot of the time? Double tops end up being reversal patterns. Now look at this. We have an M pattern here forming. Okay, and this is clearly the neckline around 92K. Now if we lose this level at 92K, then we're going to see a big drawdown. So I would say if we go from the top of the M pattern to the bottom of the M pattern, look at the confluence on this. This would bring us to 75K, which would be our weekly SMC. That's interesting. It wouldn't quite be, it's almost, if it came down to the bottom of the weekly, it would almost be back to, it would be 72K. So we do have some confluence off this M pattern playing out as well. A lot of people are going to FUD me for calling BTC 70K, and for good reason. We could get a strategic reserve at any moment, right? And it will go, if we get a strategic reserve approval, it'll probably go straight up to 120, 140, 150, who knows. But if we don't see that, and bear in mind that is going to take probably a long time to go through. I don't expect it to go through this week or this month. I think it's probably something that's going to go back and forward with the courts. That would line up perfectly. And also think about it, guys. If you are America and you were about to buy BTC, do you really want to be buying up here? Like, wouldn't you want to buy at a cheaper price? You would actually want a crash in the markets. And, you know, we know a lot of people would like a crash in the markets. BlackRock would love a crash in the markets. Pension funds would love a crash in the markets. Everyone who has a 5 to 10 year plan to accumulate BTC is going to want to see a crash in the markets, right? No one wants to keep buying at these prices. Pension funds who are trading for 5 years or 10 years, they don't care if the price is 100K or 50K, right? They've made a calculated decision to accumulate Bitcoin. They're not trading bull and bear cycles like we are, right? They're accumulating an asset as a hedge against inflation, as a digital gold, so to speak, right? So there is multiple signs that are actually calling for these sort of areas. So somewhere between 70 and 72K is where I would be looking at bear case. Okay, now we've tapped this level multiple times. Okay, so it's likely we are going to get a short-term bounce off of 90 to 92K. I wouldn't get sucked into too much euphoria on that bounce, because look how many times we've bounced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 8th time we've bounced off this level. Now what happens when you test a level? It's like a door. The more times you hit on the door, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and then eventually you break through the door. This will be the 8th time. The reason I think we'll probably bounce off here short term is because we're coming down from 105K to 90K. We'll probably get some sort of buys. We'll get a relief rally. Everybody will be ranting on socials that you know, we're back, we're so back, and then you'll probably try to rug, right? So that's why we're looking at on BTC. Do we see anything on the monthly? I mean, look, guys, people say we're in a crash. Look at the monthly on BTC. SMC bot gave us a buy signal. It's just been easy holding, right? ETF approval, BlackRock were literally pumping our bags, Donald Trump pumping our bags, strategic reserve, FOMO. It's been the easiest cycle I've ever seen. This was easier than last cycle. Last cycle, you really didn't know what was going to happen with BTC. We didn't have institutions and funds carrying us like this. Monthly, not a lot to look. I've put end of bull here is because historically this is where it ends. This is historically where it ends. And let's say this time isn't different. I mean, we can see many signs that, you know, this time is different. We hit all-time high for the first time before the halving. So, you know, nobody can say that this time has not been different. But let's say we rally up, we have a correction, we have a cool down back to our support line. If we do bounce off this level at 70k, 73k, I think this is the final pump that we see, okay, into Christmas. We usually see bullishness around Christmas into the end of the year. This is our last hope, okay? And if we do come down to these levels, this is where I'd be looking to what are the smart money doing, okay? So I'd be looking just as we were here when we were selling. Okay, are people buying AI16Z again? Are the smart money, are the funds, are the whales, are the best investors in crypto buying back into the market? If they are, I'm going to pay attention because I know they're making tens of millions in 3 months. You know, I know this account's made 3 million in 30 days. These are the people that I'm following, that I'm trading, that we're trading against, right? And they're very smart. Don't underestimate them. This chart, a lot of people don't like this chart, and I don't really like comparing to 2017, 2021, but I will when we see confluence. And we do have confluence on this chart, guys, right? It's very interesting. It's almost scary how we're rejecting off this level again. So this is the monthly candles. 2 taps to the resistance, bear market. This was the next cycle. Tap, tap, 2 taps into, I'm going to call this a bear market because it came down 50%. 2 taps, actual bear market, straight to the bottom, back to the bottom of the support. Okay, so we've tapped this once, twice, 3 times. Tapped it twice as well on the downside. Bull market, look where we got rejected for the 3rd time. I'm not even going to call this 3rd times, right? Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 8th time in a row that we are rejecting, and we're rejecting on the 2nd monthly candle, which is what happened each time. The 2nd monthly candle was the reversal. The 2nd monthly candle was the reversal. 8 times. So, I mean, look, I don't like comparing to last charts, guys, but you can't deny that we have a broadening wedge pattern here that's hit 8 times in a row, okay? If it was 2 times, 3 times, okay, but 8 times and repeated, I mean, what are the odds that it's repeated on the 2nd candle, on the 2nd wick, it's rejected and gone to the downside? Every single time there has been a massive correction, okay? Look how small this correction is compared to the previous correction, okay? So technically, this makes sense, right? It makes sense for us to come back down to our support. Are we actually repeating the exact same thing that happened last cycle with this 50% correction? This would throw a lot of people off, right? Look where the previous correction came down. Then we went into our final pump into Christmas, look, December 21, into the bear market. Are we going to see a repeat? This lines up perfectly, right? We come down here, 70k, 71k, into the bull market, into the final stages of the bull market. Now this is interesting because we know where, if this does play out like this is going to be a very interesting level, right? This broadening wedge, because this would be the 9th time that it tapped it. I actually really like this replay. I love this replay. Nice long position down here, maybe dabble back into some altcoins, and then this would be a take profit in short region around 126, 130k, which a lot of people have been expecting to see, right? A lot of people have had targets around 125, 140k. BTC trying to cling on to 99k. So yeah, this is very, very interesting. I like this chart. Look, this is the bull case. That's the bull case. I like to have a strategy for either outcome. Let's have a look at the bear case, right? Bear case is we go into a bear market, we chop around here for a while, we have some relief rallies, and then we have an actual correction and we go into a bear market. And then is the bottom of this wedge going to be our new support? Okay, so new support would be somewhere between, I don't know, guys, 30 to 40k, depending on where we land, right? That is extreme bear case. I'm not saying we're coming down to 30, 40k. We're going to need to see the strategic reserve, how much are they going to buy? If we see the Bitcoin strategic reserve, I don't know. No one can predict where the BTC is going to be with the strategic reserve, because there's going to be consistent inflows into Bitcoin. Maybe the floor is 70k for the strategic reserve. I don't know. Maybe it's 100k, right? Let's have a look at some of the other stuff. So as I talked about earlier, something Carl the Moon posted. This is why I tell people to keep a lot of their portfolio in BTC, only 20% in altcoins. Again, I kind of do this, but I do this with low risk altcoins. So most of my portfolio was in Solana. It was in Render, it was in Casper, and then I moved about 20-30% I have to gamble in meme coins and AI agents and all these high risk plays, right? We can clearly see here that it decoupled, altcoins decoupled. So you see last cycle, Bitcoin went up, altcoins went up, Bitcoin went down, altcoins went down, Bitcoin went up, altcoins went up, and it kind of matched, if not outperformed BTC in terms of returns. Not this cycle, okay? So Bitcoin had this leg to the upside. We've not seen that leg to the upside, and we keep seeing everybody on socials, on Twitter, on all these platforms saying altcoin season's coming, altcoin season's coming. I mean, guys, how long are we going to wait, right? And what happens if BTC comes down here? Because altcoins didn't go up when it went up, but what happens if BTC comes down here? Altcoins are going to get absolutely massacred. And are we expecting the smart money? Do they expect Bitcoin to come down? Is this one of the reasons why they've been taking profits? Okay, a lot of the smart money move before we see big macro events, right? A lot of the insiders, they move before we see big macro events, before we see big corrections on Bitcoin. And are they expecting a massive crash on BTC here? Okay, so very, very important that we are breaking away, and this time is moving different. Is it completely different? No, I still think we're going to go through 4-year cycles, but it is moving very, very different, guys. Okay, this popped up. This is quite funny. Again, we do have confluence here. CZ posted on Forbes, happened to be top of the market. We had a crash. Sam Scamman Freed at the top happened to be the top of the market. We saw a crash. And then recently, Michael Saylor was listed on Forbes, and people were calling for a top here as well. Look, sometimes these things play out, right? I look at confluence, I look for signs, and that's another one. Morad's list isn't looking too good. Okay, so these were a lot of the long-term holds. Isn't it funny how we went from meme coins to 100 billion to most meme coins sitting below 1 billion and absolutely massacred. This is the problem with meme coins, guys. They don't have utility. They're not revolutionizing the financial space. There is no point to them. They're just fun. And what happens is they pump hard and they dump just as harder. And this is why I sold a lot of my meme coins. I sold a lot of Pepe. I sold a lot of my baby Pepe. And we made some huge gains, right? Sold a lot of my Trump as well in that Trump pump, and went short on Trump. Closed my long on Trump. Even some funds that I was tracking were in PopCat. They were down a lot of money on PopCat as well. There's some serious funds who were managing institutional clients, and their clients were seeing meme coins go crazy. They were like, why don't we have any Pepe? Why don't we have any PopCat? And the funds started to allocate in. Crazy to see funds going into meme coins, but it is what it is. Michi, I saw some funds going into Michi as well. I actually bought into Michi as well. And absolute massacre. Now, if you look at a lot of altcoins, Solana's not down like this, right? My Casper bags weren't down. I've already taken profits on Casper, but they weren't down like this. A lot of top quality projects with utility aren't even down 50%. So be very careful when you're trading meme coins. It's extremely degenerate. It's extremely risky. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but they crash. Now, Murad has been talking about holding his meme coin portfolio, and he has a lot of people following him. And I would just be very wary, because a lot of these meme coins are going to go down 99% and they're not going to recover. If I do buy into some of these top meme coins, I think there's a play for the bear market going into next cycle. I don't think it's now. I think some of these are going to come down 99%. I think we're going to see market caps that were 1 billion down to 10, 20 million. Okay, that's where I'm going to be interested to accumulate some blue chip meme coins just in case they come back. Now, I'm not going to go in with 10% of my portfolio, guys, but I'm going to have little dabbles here, and there'll be long-term plays, and I think we are going to see that capitulation. If you look at a lot of the meme coins of last cycle, guys, some of them came down so bad, but what did we see this cycle? A lot of them actually came back and bounced up by a lot. So the way to make life-changing gains, in my opinion, not financial advice, is to accumulate in the bear market, and that's where I'm going to be looking to load up on some of these blue chips. I'm going to be looking to see who's been building throughout the bear market. What are the smart money doing on chain? Are we seeing the smart money start to accumulate? What are the insiders doing? Are we seeing the early whales coming back, right? I want to see them working. I want to see tweets. I want to see content all throughout the bear market, and that's where I'll be loading up on some of these gems. When no one is interested, when everyone has left the space, I'll still be here doing the on-chain checks and doing the fundamental checks to try and secure some nice assets. Now, Crypto Banter posted, unlike some others, I'm going to man up and admit that this didn't play out as expected. The risk return here has shifted significantly. A lot of top accounts are actually starting to switch. Okay, so this was today, I believe, 2nd of February. A lot of the top accounts are actually starting to switch, and a lot of people are starting to get fearful. Now, this sometimes is a good sign because it means that, you know, things are starting to cool down. But I'm not going to take this as a bullish flip right now, just because of the on-chain data we've got, what's going on in the macro. I think that we are starting to see people actually selling altcoins, selling some of their portfolio. Okay. So I think we're starting to see people who are actually DCAing a large percentage, just like we did. We sold I think we sold 50%. I've already sold 30% in March, sold 50% sort of in January. And I think we're going to see that continued. And what happens when these people have very big portfolios, when they start to sell, when they start to take profits, it can additionally bring the market down. They also have a lot of followers who also consider de-risking, right, and taking money off the table. Where do you think we are now? Now, I see a lot of people in crypto talking about this, and they're saying, how can we be here, because, you know, the market is desperate, and, you know, how can we be here? And I think we're here. I think we're in belief stage. I think we're in optimism. Now, I stopped looking at this chart for crypto when things changed. Everything changed this cycle. It was an institutional cycle. Everything changed. What I am looking at this chart for is TradFi. TradFi has not changed. We know crypto still follows TradFi, and we can look at this, and to me, we did enter a very strong phase of euphoria in TradFi. If you look at NVIDIA, look at this, guys. I mean, do you remember when people were saying NVIDIA will never go over $100, right? It broke through $100. People in investing have a very short memory, and they forget what it felt like. Do you remember when we broke through 100k on BTC? Mass euphoria. Oh my God, we're over 100k. I feel like we might have even gone through that euphoria stage. Like, NVIDIA pushed up to 150 and people were in disbelief, right? I saw some top stocks accounts who were like, how is this even possible? Like, what is going on? I don't get it. People were shorting NVIDIA here, people were shorting NVIDIA here, and they were getting wrecked. We can clearly see that this has been one of the biggest. This moved more than a lot of altcoins, and it's a stock, guys, right? It's so overvalued compared to their earnings. It's trading at like 4 or 5 times earnings. These things don't go up in a straight line forever. They go through these cool down phases. And to me, it does look very similar to this chart here. It really does, guys. I don't want to say we're going into a bear market, but it's scary looking at this because we've kind of been through it, right? We've been through it. So Robert says BlackRock is suppressing the Bitcoin price so that whales can buy Bitcoin under 100k. Like we talked about earlier, why would America want to start accumulating BTC at the top after everybody else and pump everyone else's bags? They're very smart. They're surrounded by some smart people. If they are going to make an entry, you're going to want a decent price. You're going to want a pullback, right? You're not going to go in at the top and pump everyone's bags. Maybe you do, but historically, it's better to buy dumps, right, and sell pumps. So there might be some plans for a pullback. There might be some plans for a correction. We don't know, guys. I wouldn't underestimate these people. And, you know, if this does have a correction down to 60, 70k or whatever, in my opinion, if we are going to see a reserve, it's going to be short. It's going to be very fast, right? You're going to see this reserve start to accumulate very, very fast because they know that if it gets approved or they start buying, the price is going to rally very, very fast. So where are we on this cycle in terms of my portfolio? So again, you know me, I'm pretty much a low risk investor. Yes, I do dabble in meme coins and all these new AI agents, and I try to flip coins here and there. Most of my portfolio was in low risk plays. When I first got in the bear market, I got Bitcoin, Solana, Render, Casper. We bought in down here. This was my first take profit, so I didn't quite time the top on the first one, but you know, it was pretty good. We was up almost 10x, and I took 30% off the table. This was my second TP, so a lot of people call me flip-flops. No, I've literally TP'd my portfolio twice, right? So I've been holding it from the bear market, and took some off the table here, took some more off the table here. I still have a moon bag. It's not very big. Most of my money has been taken out. I've taken most of my profits off the table. I've already won. I can't lose, right? I put some into real estate. I got a motorbike. I got a watch. I bought all the things I wanted to buy, and now I have a moon bag, and I'll sell that whether we go up or down. I'm not going to hold that moon bag down 90% or 70% in a bear market. If we lose bull market trend lines, I'll sell the rest of it. If we move to the upside, I have exposure. Let's say we bounce off 72k, maybe altcoins have a last minute rally into the end of the year. Christmas is usually quite bullish. Maybe I'll have a nice gain there if it pushes to the upside, right? But having a moon bag in doesn't keep me out of the space. It keeps me in the space, and I don't get FOMO. I've already won. I've already taken profit. So I'm very big on de-risking and taking some off the table. So not bad TPs, and obviously this lines up with a lot of the other altcoins. I sold some Render around here. Sold a lot of the crappy altcoins I was holding up here, and a lot of those capitulated. Took some profits from Trump. So as you can see, I posted on my X. Go and follow my X as well, guys, if you're not following, so you don't miss out on any of my updates. Took some profits off that Trump trade. I mean, we made a killing in January, guys. We got into Trump early. We took some long positions. I bought massive spot bags, and it really rallied really fast, and it started to have a correction. So I didn't sell the top, but I took a lot of profits off the table and bagged those profits. And then I ended up going short. I shorted Melania. I took a short on Trump as well. Closed my Render long. So as you guys know, I posted here. Sorry guys, seeing some big red flags on chain. So this was obviously, as I talked about when I told you guys, I saw all the smart money selling. This was on the 8th of January. I think Render was like $7.68. Not bad gains on there. So realized P&L 20k plus the 3k, so it was like 23 grand profit that I took on that. Took some profits off Render. No one went broke taking profits. So guys, I'm always taking profits, even in my short positions now. Even though I'm up a colossal amount of money, I did take 25% profits off the table today. I'll continue to take more profits as we go down. If we go down, I'll take more profits. If we go up, maybe I'll take some more profits as well. Again, here is my plays with Render. I'm not doing this to show off, guys. I'm doing this because there's a lot of people who say they do a lot of things in crypto, but they don't actually do anything. So I always post my buy and sell alerts to you guys. Render, here's my buy alert back in 2022 that I posted in my Discord. Buy alert down here. This is my first take profit. So I took profit up here. Almost got the top, not the exact top. And this is where I took the long position. So you see that long position that I told you I took profits on. This was obvious. This was an obvious bounce. Let double bottom, W breakout, come back to previous support. And the macro started to shift as well. BTC was at support. I'm hoping that we see this again. You see, this is where BTC in March had its correction, and this is August where we bought back in. We bought Sui down here. We bought Sui at like 0.85. That went up to like, I went up like 8x or something stupid. Ondo rallied. I took a long position on Render, and I'm hoping that we see this again. This is what I'm hoping for right now. Okay, so I'm not completely. We're going into a bear market. I think we're going to go into this long, drawn out pullback again. I think we should have had this rally, but we didn't. When Bitcoin went up to 110k, we should have had this rally, but we didn't. Instead, we had this feeble, pathetic altcoin rally. And I think we're coming back into this correction. Is this correction going to be bigger because we had a more feeble rally? Okay. And again, you can see here, BlackRock accumulating, the market's starting to shift. So what else have we got here? By the way, guys, if you want to jump in the Patreon, we absolutely nailed this move. Can I zoom into this? So I posted here, well done guys, we front run the smart money again. So the smart money, actually we sold before this massive you see this massive wick here of smart money selling their altcoins. We actually could see the trend was starting to trend up, and this is when we de-risked and took some profits and went into some short positions, and then the smart money really started to sell aggressively shortly after. So if you want to join the Discord, jump in there, guys, so you don't miss out on any of these updates. Patreon has been exploding. Big up everyone supporting, man. It's been crazy. We're now up to like $32,000 a month. 719 members. We've gone up to rank 31 in the finance rank on Patreon, and it's just scaling up, right? It's just completely scaling up. And I think we take a very different approach to a lot of the crypto space. I'm not trying to make 100x on PopCat. I'm not trying to make 1000x. I'm just trying to make 10x each cycle, and we've been absolutely killing it. So 10k cycle 1, trying to get to 100k, and then cycle 2, which we're in right now, 100k to 1 million, and then cycle 3, which will be next cycle, I'm trying to get to 10 million. Okay, so I want to get to 10 million by next cycle. All I need to do is 10x, because I hit over 1 million this cycle. So I just need to 10x next cycle, and I'm on 10 million. And if you're buying in the bear market, I mean, guys, look, Solana done a 20x this cycle, Casper done a 25x from bear market, Render done a 25x. We hit loads of little 10x's, so many 10x's along the way through buying AI tokens, 50x on Baby Pepe. You know, loads of meme coins, done stupid numbers. I hit 1000x on something. So if I put next cycle, I'm going to put 70 to 80% into low risk plays. So probably Bitcoin. I don't know. We'll see how much Bitcoin comes down next cycle. But probably Bitcoin, depending on the discount. I don't want to, if Bitcoin comes down to like 80k, maybe I'll put some in there. There is a hedge, just as a low risk, but I'll probably go into, again, low risk altcoins. It's going to be a lot harder to buy high risk altcoins next cycle because of the dilution, because of the lackluster rally we've had so far this cycle. I say lackluster, 25x and 10x is a lot of money, but it was not as easy with altcoins last cycle. So that's my targets, right? I'm just trying to make 10x each cycle. If this takes me 10 years, it takes me 10 years, right? But it's slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Aping into all of these high risk altcoins and these meme coins, trying to flip your 10k is a quick way to get wrecked, right? Let's say you're up to 100k and you take a massive risk and you put the 100k in PopCat. Well, you're now sitting on 20k, right? You've lost most of your bags by aping into high risk plays. So this is my target, and this is my plan for next cycle. Where do we get up to? So let's have a look here. Short in Fartcoin, man, this has absolutely got bad. 450%, down to 65. I mean, this could still go, right? I mean, the last time I looked on chain, I still see the insiders and smart money dumping that. Took some profit on Trumps. We've already talked about that. This was my Pepe play. So we bought down here in kind of a bear market territory, and this was my TP1 and TP2. So I was actually going to sell. I actually thought Pepe was going to go a lot higher, and after all the red flags we saw recently, I decided to take a lot off the table. So I sold 70%. You can see here. I'm seeing some red flags on chains on the 12th of January, on meme coins as well. I'll do a video soon. I sold 70% of my Pepe. We're up around 10x. It's a lot. Moonbag for the bull run. If strategic reserve, it can send USDC bags packed for bear market, ready to buy the crash. So this is the main thing I want to do. I want to make sure that I've got stable coins and cash on the side to buy the crash, because that's where you make generational wealth, right? It's not right now. It's hard to make money up here buying at these levels. Where you make the generational wealth is down here, right? When things are going sideways, when no one's interested, when most of the normies who are in crypto right now, they'll leave and never come back. A lot of them will never come back. Some of them will come back, and a lot of retail will actually come back when things are green and they're pumping, when they should actually be buying in the red when we're down here. This was my buy alert for Pepe, so I'm not going to read all this. You can freeze it if you can see the reasons why I wanted to buy Pepe. It was predominantly because of Doge last cycle, but I said even if it does a 10 to 20x, it's huge returns regardless. I don't really like memes. They are never a long-term play for me, but Doge was one of the biggest performers last cycle. History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. Therefore, I'll hold Pepe into the bull run. It's a high-risk play and a gamble based on new retail psychology. So turned out to be a really great play, guys. And look, you don't have to be a genius in this stuff. Buy low, sell high. Are we high? Yes. Did we buy low? Yes. repeat. Okay, where most people lose is they carry on wanting more, and they want more, and they want more, and hey, my baby Pepe bag's up 10x, it's now 10 grand. If it goes 2x, I'm gonna have 20 grand. I'm gonna hold it till it hits 2x, and then before you know it, you're down 90%, you're down 95% because you got greedy and you didn't take profits, right? Pigs get slaughtered. And even though I sold here in this pullback, I was still up massively, okay? And it could come all the way down here, guys. Yes, it could go up to the moon, right? That's why I only sold, well, I say only, I sold a lot, 70%. So I kept a 30% moon bag. And you see the bull run support line here. You see how we pumped, we came back, we pumped, we came back. If we break below this, which we might even be breaking below right now, I need to do a video on it. If we break below this and close on the weekly, it's not looking good, guys. If we start closing below these weekly levels, it usually indicates the start of a bear market. That's it for now, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these videos. Join my Discord, jump in the Patreon if you want to get involved with us. What am I going to be doing for the rest of this market? Well, I'm going to be doing what I always do, just checking on chain, analysing the data, looking at the smart money. Well, I want to see a pullback. I'd like to see BTC find support. I'd like to see a correction. I'd like to see a cool down. I want to see extreme fear. Even though the Twitter is a bit fearful right now, there's still a lot of hope, right? A lot of the top accounts are saying altcoin season's coming. You know, Alex Becker's constantly posting altcoin season's coming. It's about to come. There's still a lot of hope. We haven't really capitulated. I saw Crypto's banner today, post today saying that you know, he's flipping a bit bearish. I've seen Crypto talk about he's flipping a bit bearish as well, saying this time's different. We're starting to see more and more accounts actually taking some off the table, and we might go into a long drawn out correction. The problem with the timing right now is what happened when we took profits when we took profits here. We took profits. Why were we taking profits here? We were front running, selling may go away, right? We were trying to front run, selling may go away. Altcoins came down 50, 60, 70%. They didn't have that bounce here. They didn't have that bounce, right? So let's say altcoins come down here now. Let's say altcoins come down 50, 60, 70%. I'm not talking about these meme coins. I'm talking about actual utility coins like Caspar. Sui's still near all-time high, guys, right? XRP is still near all-time high. I'm short in XRP, by the way. If we come down, this is the area I'll be looking for, right? This is what I'll be looking for peak fear. And this would bring us into extreme fear on the fear and greed. We're still in greed on the fear and greed. We might have just come off greed. We haven't seen extreme fear for a while, so this is kind of where I play. Let's just quickly look at XRP, because I feel like with XRP, you know, I feel like I might be shorting the top of this. I feel like I might, look at the chart, guys. I mean, look, things don't go up like this. Things don't do this without a correction. This is classic top of the market behavior, right? Just literally going up vertical. You don't go up like this and then go like this and then go up vertical, right? You normally either have a very, very fast capitulation, or you have a very slow, drawn out, massive correction over many months, okay? Many months before you maybe see a reversal, or many months before you go into a bear market, right? A horrible, horrible bear market. And if we look at CoinMarketCap, if we have a look at CoinMarketCap and look at XRP, you're going to see what I'm talking about and why I'm shorting, why I have a massive short on XRP. XRP, let's have a look. I mean, guys, look. this is just, isn't history repeating here? Look at this. Look at this spike to the upside. Things don't do this, right? They don't go up like this and have a correction. People have made a colossal amount of money in a very short amount of time. BTC is coming down to 98K6 now. People made a lot of money in a very short amount of time. Dump, right? It's normally the start of a massive correction and dump. And I think I'm shorting the top of XRP here. And if I am, imagine shorting XRP up here, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, guys. Hundreds of thousands. So people say you can make money in a bull run. You can make money, just as much money in a bear market, right? I'm up like, when did I put these shorts on? Like a week ago? I'm up like $50,000, $60,000, and it's like the 2nd of February. I made $50,000-$60,000 long in Trump. Like, you can still make money. It's extremely riskier taking leverage trades. It's very, very risky taking leverage trades. That's why you have to be monitoring the data. You have to be looking at the on-chain. If the insiders are dumping millions of dollars, usually it tends to mean that the price is going to come down, right? And we can monitor that in the Discord. I've got sections here where we can see smart money signals, and we can see what the smart money are doing in real time. So you see, for example, smart money sent $194,000 worth of MOG in the last 24 hours. This is 79x times the recent average. This is usually to sell. Okay, if they send tokens to exchanges, it's usually to sell. Let's go and see what's going on with MOG. It's usually capitulation. And look, we can see the last 24 hours, it's completely crashed. It's completely come to the downside. It's starting to roll over here as well. So we can imagine these smart money are probably going to be taking more money off the table. And it can cut. Look at this, guys. It's breaking below the levels down here. It's summer 24. This is classic bear market behavior. Market cap is still 394 million. I mean, it could come down to 30 million, right? Don't forget how low things can come down in the bear market. Its FDV is 424 million. I mean, it could come down to 40 million in no time. I might even trade it. Guys, that's it for now. None of the information in this video is financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto is highly risky. You can lose all your money in crypto. These are my strategies. This is just what I'm doing. This is my own opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so always do your own research. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of these videos. And if you want to get involved with us, jump over to my X and you'll see the information on how to join the Patreon. So this is my X, Smart Money Crypto, and you can see the link here to join the Patreon. That's it for now. Until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.